yesterday. I had all the intentions of doing what I normally do, and I just stayed in my bathrobe all day. Yeah. I have some just personal issues that I don't really want to put out on a public platform that's going on in my life that I can't really disclose, but it's emotional and has to do with personal relationships, to do with family members, and all kinds of stuff that I just don't want to put out there in the general public. Um, but I will say I'm going through an emotional time, and I'm trying to deal with them not in the way of eating or feeding my face or covering up the emotions with food. So I'm trying to deal with this in a healthy manner. Of course, I don't have any health insurance, so I can't go to a counselor, don't have any money. So I'm going to use the tools that I've known and what to do through maybe education, through reading, and self-exploitation during this 6 years of a roller coaster ride, trying to get me back to the person that I want to be. And I've successfully done that a couple times. But, life is ever evolving with this thing called life, right? We don't always stay the same. We grow older, our family dynamics change, our personal relationships change. We have deaths, we have births, we have transitions, we have all these things that we need to deal with in a healthy manner. Now, unfortunately, some of us, and we learn to cope through different coping mechanisms, and a lot of us that have had weight loss surgery, that's what we know how to do. Is we don't cope through addictions that other people cope with. We cope with food in a different way than other people do, and we use that to dumb us down, numb us out, hide our emotions, or just soothe ourselves with food. And I hope you pre-op people that are listening to this video, I hope that during your pre-op stage, you investigate this, try to open up the box or Pandora's box, or peel the onion to your own personal path. Figure out the why, and what you can do in a healthy way, not to undo all the positive things that you will do on your path or your journey or your way of life through this transition of being a healthier person. You're growing every day and learning new things. You don't want to make a backslide. You don't want to regress into the person that you were before you had your bariatric surgery. Because this is just my opinion, bariatric surgery is only a window of opportunity to get yourself on the right path. And you can use all these tools that are available, that your doctor's office gives you, that your dietitian gives you, that things that you read, you research through therapy, things like this, through your development, I say, of your new life. Because this surgery, and I don't care what surgery you have, right? You got to milk it as long as you can. The metabolic window of opportunity to be all you can be, to try to transform yourself into the person you want to be, before your brain and the hunger and all those hormones possibly can come back to try to sabotage you, right? Now, unfortunately, my surgery wasn't that effective through getting my hormones right, getting my obesity in check, getting my hunger management in check, getting my exercise right, getting my brain right, all these things, my addictions to unhealthy foods, and my ability to continue to fight. Because it is a fighting battle, right? Because I don't care who you are, okay? You're always going to run into the social dynamics of food because it's all around us, right? You're going to go to parties, you're going to go to, all these things, functions, family functions, celebrations, and the temptation is always going to be there, right? So you have to learn to make the right choices. Maybe your danger foods are going to be different than my danger foods, or your trigger foods are going to be different than my trigger foods. So these things we need to evaluate and try to set them all out so that we have a plan in place to where these things come up, we know exactly what to do. So we don't fall back in old patterns or old behaviors, right? Because that's why people regain, right? Now, you may be on a metabolic honeymoon for a while, and you may be able to cheat your surgery. You may be able to eat some of those slaughter foods for maybe 6 months, maybe a year. You may even get 2 years out of it. But I can guarantee you, one day it's going to come back and bite you in the ass if you don't learn how to eat, practice a healthy lifestyle, whatever that means to you, right? And healthy foods, right? Not processed foods, not fast foods, not soda, because the data is there, baby. The data is there, right? Now, the problem is that everybody's obese now, right? Overweight. There's not too many normal weight people in the world, so everybody is abnormal, right? So we can just say to ourselves, well, I look pretty normal because I'm overweight. That's what I am right now. I'm no longer obese. I once was obese, right? I was obese. I was normal. I was normal. I was normal until 2005. And then that's when the problem began. And I didn't see myself. And people in my direct vicinity, and my husband, my doctors, my coworkers, they all said to me, well, you look just fine. You're not that fat. You're not that fat. But meanwhile, right, if you look at that body, because I got a little body, I'm a little person, right? And I keep getting littler and littler as I age, because I'll be 59, right? So they said, well, you don't look that fat. You don't look that fat. For bariatric surgery, I had to be with a BMI of 37 and 2 comorbidities. So I had high cholesterol and I had sleep apnea, right? So now what you don't know is underneath all that flubber, there's organs, right? And they say visceral. Visceral fat is the most dangerous fat, right? Mm-hmm. So you get all those organs, you get all that fat around those organs, and they cause disease, right? Now, some people don't matter if they got disease because they think they can go to the medical guru. But you're not going to get answers by going to the medical guru because you're just going to be on that medical merry-go-round. Obesity is the foundation of all diseases. It is here where it starts. And I don't care, you can exercise till your body breaks down. It's nutrition, and we are full of getting assault in our body because it's processed foods, it's fast foods, it's the fake foods, it's the soda, and it's the sugar, right, that we love, right? Now, and it could be drugs, or it could be alcohol, or it could be dangerous behaviors, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to figure that all out on our pre-op stage, because once we get the surgery, that's where we need to be focusing on the weight loss, right? Because if you start to figure out what's going on up in here, you start to figuring out the mental stuff. When you're already after you had surgery, honey, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. You got to get started the very first time that surgery idea comes into your brain. Right. Start working on the brain. Start figuring out why you got that way. Is it because of, your dog died? Your mama got divorced? Your husband left you? All those things, right? Or your mama didn't feed you the right kind of food. Figure that all out. Figure it all out. Because once you had the surgery, there's no more excuses. No more excuses. But I figured it all out. And baby, I'm not going back there. And I fight every day. I fight every day to make the right choices. And I fight every day to make the fitness. And I fight every day to be true to myself, to look myself in the mirror and say, yes, I know who I am now. And I'm going to admit to myself that I'm not going back there. And I'm going to do the right thing every day. Now, that's my body in the height of my honeymoon, right? I was a triathlete. I was skinny. 147. Damn it, I still can't get back there. I've been trying to get back there, but I can't. So I just have to live with it, right? And I just try to go and try to do everything I can possibly do. Make sure I'm eating right. Make sure I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. Now, yesterday, I had my day planned, and I just collapsed. I just didn't have the energy to do anything. And that's the worst thing I could do, is stay in this place and be next to that refrigerator. Because I can't be near the refrigerator. I have to be out to where I'm doing something, keeping my mind occupied, because I get bored. I'm a grazer. I can graze, and that's the worst thing, right? Eating every six hours, or eating every 4 hours, or eating every 2 hours. Now, I'm not talking about when you're just under maybe 6 months. That's a different story. But when you're way out like me, 6 years, no way. My metabolism is slow. My BMR, I had it tested. Go get your BMR tested. It's just a breath test, and see what you're blowing. Because my BMR is less than 1,000. Less than 1,000. So that means I better keep those calories under 1,000, or I'm going to put on the weight. Right. Now, 1,000 calories can mean 1,000 calories of maybe meat. Well, how much meat? Well, that's determined by you or your doctor. But I was told no more than 4 ounces of meat. And then the next is the vegetables, right? Now, I don't have any restriction anymore. My surgery is not working, non-functional. So I got to be conscious of my decision, because I will overeat. And if I eat slaughter food, I can eat a whole cheesecake with no restriction. But if I eat 4 ounces of meat, I can feel it still, even though that lap band is unfilled. So that's just my little 2 cents. But get it right. Get it right on your pre-op diet. And don't open the door. Don't test the waters. because if you're on the honeymoon period and your doctor says you got to do 2 weeks of whatever, or you got to do this for 6 months or whatever, do it. You know what that food tastes like? Believe me, you will be able to eat that food again. And it may be to your disadvantage. Well, that's all I got to say. So see you in the next video. I'm going out to the garden.